Senator Bernie Sanders is an independent from Vermont who is convinced that politics has become way too corporatized, if not controlled. Good afternoon, Senator.
Good to be with you, Rick.
When someone gives you hundreds of thousands of dollars, they certainly wouldn't want anything in return, right? They've just got some extra money laying around.
Absolutely not. They're just interested in democracy and just want to help the democratic process. The idea that maybe they would get something for their money, I am sure you will agree with me, is the furthest possible thing from their minds.
Now, you know, it's interesting. You and I can be tongue-in-cheek about this and have a lot of fun with it, but I hear Americans screaming over death panels, screaming over immigrant labor, but shouldn't they also be just as angry, if not more so, about politicians that are getting all this money, which would make me think, why should you love me if they're giving you all that money?
Well, Rick, you're absolutely right, and thank you for speaking about an issue that far too people do talk about. Look, we pay the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs, far higher than any other country. You know why? You know why? Because the drug company pours hundreds of millions of dollars into the political process. We're the only country in the industrialized world that does not provide health care to all of its people. You know why? You're seeing it right now, because the health industry, the drug companies, the hospitals, all of these organizations are making billions right now. They don't want us to touch their profits, and they're going to influence legislation.
And they do? Well, let's name names. Let me go through here. I went to a website I invite all of you at home to go to. It's called opensecrets.org. You think that's a good website, Senator?
Yes, I do.
All right, I pulled up three names. I pulled yours up, of course, as well. But let's go with three people who've been very much involved in this health care debate. I got Mitch McConnell, Republican, Max Baucus, Democrat, and Chuck Grassley. Let's look at who. These are the people who are talking about this health care debate, right? Let's see how much money they've gotten from health care. Let's start with Mr. Grassley over here, all right? Top 5 industries. Health professionals have given him $222,000. Insurance, $184,000. Pharmaceuticals, $145,000. Lobbyists, $137,000. Hospitals, nursing homes, $137,000. Those are the top 5 people who've given him money. Let's go over here to Mr. McConnell. Look at Mr. McConnell. Let's go to the page. Okay, again, this is the top 5 industries that have given him money. Securities and investment, $1,116,000. Lawyers, $918,000. But let's go down here to health professionals. $713,000. Those are 2 Republicans. Here's the big brouhaha Democrat on this. Not too far off, by the way. Securities and investment, top 5 industries, $842,000. Insurance, $552,000. Health professionals, $497,000. Pharmaceuticals, $507,000. Now, $507,000. That's a big nut for someone who's making decisions about how our health care is going to be run, to be getting from someone who's very interested in how it's going to be run, isn't it?
Sure it is, and you're not adding into that equation the amount of money that goes directly to both political parties.
Now, yours is, let's just look at yours real quick here. I want to start doing this all the time. I think Americans need to know who's getting what and what are they then deciding on. I got you here at top 5 industries. You got $434,000 from retired, $331,000 from Democratic liberal. I'm not sure what that means. You got $138,000 from lawyers, $78,000 from transportation, and $75,000 from education. You don't do as well as those other guys do, by the way.
Now, I don't take corporate PACs. Most of that money came from organizations representing working people, representing consumer interests, representing senior citizens. I happen not to take corporate PACs.
Okay, so corporate PAC is something where corporations are allowed to give money to politicians as if they were persons, and the Supreme Court has said they can do so, right?
Yeah, well, what we're looking at right now is a major case, which, if in my view it goes badly, it is going to open the floodgates for corporate money. This is not PAC money. This is money directly from the largest corporations in the world coming right into your television screen, advertising and telling you who you should vote for.
But that's interesting, because the First Amendment says I have inalienable rights as a human being, as a citizen of the United States of America, and so do you.
Right.
What corporations are trying to argue is, well, they should have inalienable rights too. They should be no different than John Doe, who's going to send his $10 or $20 or $100 to a politician. So yesterday, Ted Olson, the former Solicitor General under the Bush administration, argued before the Supreme Court. Here's a conversation. Here's a snippet. He's talking to Ruth Ginsburg, trying to convince her that corporations should be treated just like people. She's wondering if that's a good idea. Let's listen to this exchange, and then you and I will talk about it on the backside.
Mr. Olson, are you taking the position that there is no difference in the First Amendment rights of an individual? A corporation, after all, is not endowed by its creator with inalienable rights. So is there any distinction that Congress could draw between corporations and natural human beings for purposes of campaign finance?
What the court has said in the First Amendment context, New York Times versus Sullivan, Grosjean versus Associated Press, and over again, is that corporations are persons entitled to protection under the First Amendment. Now,
would that include today's mega corporations, where many of the investors may be foreign individuals or entities?
The court in the past has made no distinction based upon the nature of the entity that might own a share of a corporation.
Own many shares.
Pardon?
Nowadays, there are foreign interests, even foreign governments, that own not one share, but a goodly number of shares.
It just seems to me that what Olson is arguing is that a corporation, even if it's 95% owned by the Chinese Communist government, has a right to the same things that I, as a citizen of the United States, have a right to. Doesn't seem right.
He has far more of a right, because unless CNN is paying you more than I think they are, these guys have hundreds of billions of dollars, and you have a lot less money. What we are saying, what Olson is really saying, is let's let the biggest, wealthiest, most powerful people in this country control the political process. That exists now. You described it now. If this ruling, if this decision is overturned, and we do what Olson wants, you're just giving over our democracy to the most wealthy and powerful institution in the world. And this point about foreign interest, imagine that. All of these big corporations have significant holdings from Saudi Arabia, from China, or other countries. Can you imagine these foreign influences over the political process in this country and what it will mean?
And it's interesting, because everything I read today seemed to indicate that because this is such a conservative court, they will probably rule for Ted Olson and for corporations in this case.
Rick, let me just add, people are shaking their heads at home. The answer, and I know many people are not comfortable with this, the answer, in my view, has got to be public funding of elections.
I think you make a great point. You know what? I want to pick up that part of the conversation. So I'm going to stay on this thing. This little Sanchez show that we got here every day from 3 to 4, this is a very important topic, and we are dedicated to staying on this. I want to get you back, maybe like a guy like Robert Reich or something. We're going to have a discussion about the possibility of public financing, and if that may end up being cheaper for you and me and other Americans. Thank you, sir. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.